my military style morning routine that I've been following every morning for 5 years. In this video, I'm gonna bring you through step by step the OCD level attention to detail that I implement in my morning routine every freaking morning. It's intense, but it works, and it's the only way that I guarantee myself to get the important things done. If you're a beginner with morning routines, I don't want you to think that you're gonna be able to do all this consistently for a year right off the bat. Each of them kind of built up over time in terms of where each chunk of it became a habit, and then I kind of integrated them into the morning. So I'll just go right in. First things first, actually starts the night before. So they say to plan your day, plan tomorrow today. Well, that's true. Planning tomorrow today works tremendously if it's done at a reasonable time. You don't want to plan tomorrow today right before you go to sleep, because it can actually wire you up and make it harder to fall asleep. But what I do that works is right before bed. So I'll plan my day earlier at the end of the day, so usually around like 6 or 7 p.m. because I go to bed at around 10. What I do that's more important, that's closer to bedtime, is I actually just mentally commit and visualize to when I'm going to be waking up that next morning. Is it gonna be 4:45? Is it gonna be 5? Usually that's my time window, between 4:45 to 5. Sometimes on weekends I'll let myself sleep in to catch up, because I usually run at a slight deficit during the week in terms of a sleep deficit. Regardless, it starts the night before. You have to mentally commit to when you're gonna wake up. And that just takes a couple seconds, closing your eyes, maybe sit on the sofa, sit on the ground, Indian style, and just think, when am I gonna wake up? Why? Why is that important? If I skip that, what happens? I gotta wake up at this time. Just mentally commit. So then you sleep. There's tons of other tips I could give you on sleep. The number one tip I could give on sleep is to be aware of and to not give in to resistance, right? The number one reason that we struggle with sleep is we resist thoughts. We resist things that happen. We resist some of our habits. We resist basically our pure present state awareness of being. And that is what causes most struggles with sleep, other than genetic reasons. I could go into that in another video. So you wake up in the morning, what happens? Well, the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is this: smile. I smile. It's the first thing I do because I want to trigger gratitude right off the bat. I'm grateful to be alive. A lot of times there's this term morning grogginess. I don't think you should tolerate morning grogginess. It's another day. You're alive. You should be kicking off your day with energy and enthusiasm. You should not be rolling out of bed mad that you have to wake up at a certain time. That's stupid. So what I do is I smile first thing. I've triggered myself that alarm equals smile. So this actually happens throughout my day. I put alarms in my Apple Watch, and I put an alarm that has 3 affirmation words. Right now my 3 affirmation words are coach, create, and lead. And it just reminds me of those throughout the day, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m. I have it programmed in my phone and therefore my watch, and it goes off automatically throughout the day to trigger smiling, gratitude, and remembering what my 3 power words are for the time being. Now, the 3 power words can change based on the phase of your life, but right now I am in coach, create, and lead mode. So I smile first. Then what I do afterwards is, it's a very simple step, but I realized that as long as I lift my leg, if I'm laying on my bed, all I do is I lift my leg up and slide it over the side of the bed. And that right there triggers me to get out of the bed. Because the number one reason I won't get out of bed is if I feel that I don't have to get out of the bed. And if I just slide my leg over, that's why I put my phone away from the bed, so I have to get up to turn off my alarm. The first step is just lift that leg over the bed. Very simple step. Then after that's done, what I do is I get up and I turn off my alarm. Some mornings I'll consciously allow myself to nap an additional 10 minutes. Sometimes that energizes me before I wake up, but you don't want to just lazily nap after your alarm goes off. Once you get really skilled with the time you go to bed and the time you wake up, and you get consistent, you shouldn't use an alarm, because an alarm actually raises adrenaline early in the morning. It's actually better to not use an alarm once you get fully dialed in. But if you travel a lot, you have to use an alarm. And there are sleep-related alarms that are based on when you're in REM sleep and when you're in light sleep, and it'll wake you up at the proper time. The next step after I'm up and I turn off my alarm is to, very simple, brush my teeth. So I floss and brush my teeth. That is the next step before I drink water. The reason I do it before I drink a cup of water is it cleans out my mouth so that I can intake water through a clean mouth versus, the opposite, which is all the bacteria that builds up in your mouth overnight just stays in your mouth, and then you swallow it when you drink a cup of water, because that's the next step, is drink a lot of water after you wake up. It's bad to do that with all the bacteria still in your mouth, so it's good to brush your teeth first, then down 24 plus ounces of water. Now, I drink a lot of water first thing. It's a habit of mine. Dehydration that you experience after being in bed for 8 hours is mind-boggling. You'd never expect how much dehydration you're feeling and how much that relates to morning grogginess. So then after that, after I brush my teeth, then obviously I'm going to get 24 or more ounces of water. Then immediately after that, now that we have a puppy, I have to take the puppy out, which takes, maybe 4 minutes for her to go to the bathroom outside, and then I feed her. That's a new addition since we just got the puppy. But after that, I go right back into it, which is my Go Light, which is right here. This is my Philips Go Light, and here's what it looks like. It's a blue light that I put up in front of my face like this. I put it on a table in front of me at a slightly up angle to my eyes. And what it does, the blue light replicates a bright blue sky. And when you shine this in front of your face while you're waking up in the morning, it replicates a bright blue sunlight. And what that does is it triggers all of the chemicals in your brain that make you feel awake, as if the sun was rising. And it gives you the equivalent of 2 or 3 cups of natural caffeine, they say, in terms of the energy that it gives you in equivalent energy. So very important little thing that I do. Now, while that's lit up, I multitask, meaning I have that lit up for a reason, to energize myself and replicate that blue sky. And then what I do, and what this also does, the Go Light helps you set your sleep-wake rhythm. So, when you have a Go Light on at the same time every morning, your body naturally gets used to the same sleep-wake cycle. And you'll actually fall asleep easier when you use it, because 16 hours from when you use it is when you start to get sleepy. So while I'm doing that, I pull out a notebook and I write down 5 things I'm grateful for. And then I write down anywhere between 10 to 15 of my major goals. I break down my goals into 4 sections: my wealth and career, health, relationships, and spiritual. So I write down these 4 categories of goals, and then beneath those 4 categories of goals, I write down my purpose statement, which is my personal purpose in life, which is I improve belief systems by pushing myself and others to the edge of our circle of competency. So that is my purpose in life, and I write that down every day. Now, my purpose has changed sometimes slightly. I've changed the wording here and there. It's fine. It should be fluid as you learn new information about your passions. Same with your goals. If your goals aren't changing, I'm saying some of the big goals that you're committed like 100% to and already taking action on, that's great. But as you learn new information, your goals should change, right? That's part of adapting. Do you think, any of these technology companies who made 14 adjustments to get to where they're at changed their goals once the market responded to their product? Yeah, goals change. The goal is to just be consistent with writing them down and bringing them to the front of your attention. So if you're interested in another video on how I write my goals, comment below and let me know, and I'll create a separate video on how I actually break down writing my goals. And then gratitudes, the 5 gratitudes are the first things that I write down before I write the goals. And really, I'll try and make them on things that are very specific. I try not to make them too lofty. Otherwise, you start running out of big, lofty things to be grateful for, right? So I try and zoom it into, a lady that I ordered food from made me laugh, at the register, or someone held a door for me. The smaller, the better, I've learned, because it shows you that you can be grateful for the little things. And the more you have, the more wealth you build, the more successful you become, the more you have to be grateful for the little things, because you're going to have way more little things. You're going to have way more people liking you, smiling at you, fake laughing at your jokes, all that stuff. So you have to be grateful for smaller and smaller things as you get more and more successful, I believe. And that's why my gratitudes are very specific based on the prior day. So I have the blue light open. I write down my gratitudes, my 10 to 15 goals, and then my purpose statement. Then all I do is I pace back and forth in my kitchen and I recite my major definite purpose statement, which is different than my personal purpose statement. My major definite purpose statement is derived from the book Think and Grow Rich. So I state the service I intend to provide, the wealth I intend to accumulate, and then the self-belief formula as to how I'm going to do it. Now, these are literally pulled from the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you haven't read that book, please read it. It is an amazing book on discipline, commitment, and goal setting from some of the wealthiest, most successful people on earth. That's where I got my major definite purpose statement from. I recite that every morning with faith and belief, pacing around my kitchen, sometimes in my underwear, most times in my workout clothes, because I put them on as soon as I get up after I brush my teeth, which I forgot. That is another little step. So after the go light, the blue light, and writing everything down, pace back and forth, read all that out. Then right after that, what I do is I meditate. And I meditate for at least 15 minutes every morning. So anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes is usually enough for me. I tried meditating for 5 minutes and it stopped working because it was like right by the time I'd wind down was, the meditation was over. So what I realized is 15 minutes is good because the first 5 minutes you wind down, the next 5 minutes you're kind of in that present state awareness, and the last 5 minutes you really get that elevation from your thoughts. So my goal when I meditate, very simple. Awareness of thoughts, awareness of sensations, non-judgmentally. Okay? Awareness of thoughts, awareness of sensations, non-judgmentally. So what that means is I am completely detached from the thoughts going through my head. I am completely detached from the sensations that I feel, whether I have any tension in my neck or shoulders or upper chest. I'm completely detached by it. I accept it as is. And I realize that I'm human and that these are just all passing sensations and thoughts, and I don't judge them. And one big problem I used to have with meditation is I try and change the thoughts. I used to think, well, I got to eliminate this negative thought. But in and of that self, when you try to exclude or remove negative thoughts, you create more anxiety and more tension, and it creates the opposite effect. So meditation, very simple. Present state awareness of thoughts and sensations. Probably one of the best books on this is The Power of Now. Also, there's another book, The Power of Now is by Eckhart Tolle. Another book is Mindfulness for Dummies. That was a really good book. The first half of it is on all the theories of mindfulness. Really helped me wrap my head around what non-judgmental present state awareness is. Helps me in every area of my life. Such a big, very important thing in my morning routine. I tried pushing it off to later in the day before. Never happens. I always find a way to push it off. You have to do it in the morning. And no problem if you take one day a week off from it. Believe me, if you take a day a week off of meditation and exercise, it makes you want it if you're in a good routine. So don't feel bad if you take one day a week off from these habits. Okay, so after the meditation, then I go into stretching. I have a 21 or so stretch routine where I get on all fours, I stretch my back backwards, forwards, extend my lower back. Then I do what's called a pigeon pose. I open up my hips. Then I sit Indian style. I spread my hips out. I twist from side to side. I go like, left side, right side, get my whole rib cage. Then I stretch my hip flexors in that vertical position. I stretch my glutes, my calves, usually just standing up against a wall. Then I'll stretch out my chest. I'll stretch out my other chest muscle. Then I'll bring my arms over the opposite way to stretch my upper back. I'll put my hands over my head and put them as far back behind my head as I can. And I'll get pretty much every muscle group, then I'll do my calves last. Then I feel ready and engaged. And actually right before I do that, I do plyo. So plyo is from the book TB12. I learned it from, which is Tom Brady's book on how he keeps his body in shape for the NFL. So what he does, it's called plyo, is he will actually, I have a wall behind me, he'll put a exercise ball, a small little ball, tennis ball behind his back, and he'll roll it deep into his upper back, his spine, on both sides of his spine. He'll do his upper hips, he'll do his glutes deeply, and he'll just get really deep into his back with the exercise ball. And then I think he also goes on his stomach and gets the front of his legs. I don't do that yet. It takes so much time if I did. And then I actually do the foam roller, where I lay on my back with that big roller and I roll out my upper back, mid back, lower back, and then my legs. So then once my body's in peak mobility, I immediately go to the gym. And usually I take a pre-workout from Kinobody. Kinobody has these amino acid formulas that work really well to open up your muscle tissue so that you can lift a little bit heavier weight and feel more energized in the gym in the morning. So I'll do heavy lifting, usually 3 days a week, and then I'll do 3 days a week of high intensity interval training, really for like 30 minutes or so, and then because I'll already have stretched, and you actually burn a lot of calories when you stretch. And then sometimes I'll do the stretch and plyo. I'll always do the plyo before the workout, but sometimes I'll stretch after the high intensity, because sometimes you get a deeper stretch after you work out or lift, if you stretch after you work out or lift. But some mornings when I just need to get moving, I'll stretch first thing just to get like woken up before I go to the gym, even though some of the doctors don't recommend that you stretch first. But then, yeah, I do my workout. I always try to push my physical limits in the gym. I realized I worked out for a couple of years and saw no results in the past, and I realized the reason was because I was just going through the motions. I wasn't actually trying to improve. I wasn't actually focusing on good form. So now I focus on good form and pushing myself every day. And I love doing cardio after I lift, because that's when you burn the most fat, is right after you lift doing cardio. I'm not saying intense cardio. I'm saying like, 130 to 140 beats per minute cardio, which is like lower intensity cardio. That's where you really burn the fat after you do weightlifting or high intensity interval training, is that low steady cardio. So then after I exercise, by that time it's usually around 8:15 in the morning, I will get fully ready for the day. I still haven't eaten any breakfast at this point, so I've been up for like 3.5 hours. I still haven't eaten any food. And then usually what I'll do is I will push off eating until I get to the office, to my work office. And when I get to my office, I'll usually get a big iced coffee, and I'll use that to suppress my appetite for the next hour and a half or so. Then I'll start having a little bit of fruit, just to bring up my blood glycogen, so that I can mentally focus. When I start getting to the end, I do intermittent fasting in the morning. Once I start getting to the end of my fast, I like to get some sugar in my system so I can still focus. And then boom, that's when I start, my meal, usually around 10 to 11 a.m. I'll have like my first meal of the day, usually just over 5 hours after I woke up. So that's really the morning routine. And then obviously before I go to the office, I get ready. My goal is to always look like, the two words I always just throw around is the hungry millionaire, like the grungy, not billionaire, right? But like the hungry millionaire, like the up and coming millionaire that still has a lot to prove. That type of picture is what I usually try to prepare myself as. So I try not to show up like a slob. I'm filming this video on a Sunday night, actually. It's 9:10 p.m. on a Sunday. So I'm in my lounge Puma workout clothes. right now. But regardless, that's my goal every morning when I get ready. I'm gonna look sharp. I wanna give myself the time to look sharp. I wanna shave when I need to shave, and I don't wanna, drag things out and look like a mess when I get to work, because my goal is to, always stay ready so I never need to get ready. And that has brought me so many opportunities. So many times I have like a random client call me or a random interview pop up that I forgot about, and there I am, dressed and ready every day. So when you wake up early and you put yourself through this routine that gets your mind right, your body right, your presence right by meditating, and your appearance right, you are indestructible and you're ready to be really to have as many curveballs thrown at you as possible, because you're ready to catch those curveballs because you're already prepared. And what I realize is in business, especially since I'm a business owner, so many problems pop up that when I push lifting to later in the day, I miss opportunities, and in business, because I have to leave early to work out, but more importantly, I miss my fitness, right? I'll skip the gym because it's easier to. At the end of the day, when you have no more glycogen, no more decision-making power, no more willpower left, it's way easier to skip the gym. So I like getting it all done in the morning so I can bring my best self to work and not get frustrated at all the distractions and curveballs that get thrown my way. So that's my morning routine. Watch this video back, play it back slowly over a couple parts. I know I went fast, but this morning routine has been tested and freaking milked in every way, shape, and form, and it really, really works well for me. And quite a few people have taken up bits and pieces of my morning routine and started implementing it and are seeing a lot of success. Don't feel like, again, you have to do all of it, because you're probably just gonna abandon it if you overwhelm yourself. But that's my morning routine. That's what allows me to bring the best of myself to my company as we keep expanding. I run a digital marketing company that's called SMB Team, Small Medium Business Team. We help over 100 businesses all over North America with their marketing online and generating leads. And I have to bring my best self, and my morning routine is the only way that I ensure that I get my mind, my body, and my spirit in check before the day's distractions and curveballs hit me. I hope you found value in this, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're looking for more entrepreneur, business, marketing tips and cutting edge tactics. Also, go to smbteam.com if you or someone you know is interested in getting a free marketing consultation from my marketing agency. I'd love to help you and see if we can help improve your marketing online. So again, go to smbteam.com, submit your information. Like I said, subscribe so you can get updates for new videos like this. Put your email in on our website and you will be put on our daily email drip, where we will send you high value information to your inbox for free every day as we release new videos on these awesome topics that are gonna help you and me and my team and everyone who helps contribute to putting these videos together. I just wanna help people, and I need you to give me some feedback though in order to know that I'm doing the right thing. So please like the video, comment, and let me know what I can improve on, and let me know what I should make another video on, like maybe how I set goals or gratitudes, whatever. Thank you for your time, energy, and attention.